Hi, so Westlake High School from Thousand Oaks. This is for Calculus AB, Chapter 3, exam review. Question number 13 says find the maximum minimum value of the function that they give you. This is actually part A. And it says for part A anyways, the domain is of x is between -2 and +3. So x is between -2 and +3. Well, let's look at this function first. I'm not going to even graph it for you. I'm just going to tell you how this graph looks like. Well, let's look at the degree here. The degree is the same thing as God. The reason why I say God is because it's the highest power. And according to here, the highest power, and there's the highest power, it's supposed to be 4, right? Degree is 4. That means it's going to be even. And the leading coefficient, that's the leading coefficient right there, right? That's going to be greater than 0 or positive. In other words, that means the end behavior and behavior is going to go both same direction. Okay, so that's what it kind of looks like for now. Before I actually try to find the derivative, what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out x cubed right there and find the roots first. So if I take out x cubed, I have 3x minus 4, set that equal to 0. I'm finding the roots. X cubed equals 0. That means there's a triple root at x equals 3. I hope you know what a triple root behavior looks like from pre-calc. You also have another factor, 3x minus 4 equal to 0. Move the 4 over, divided by 3. So x equals 4 over 3, or 1 and 1/3. That will be another root. So there's a triple root as x equals 0. And 1 and 1/3 as well. So it kind of looks like this. That's kind of like from the left side, and from the right side, it's going to look something like that. That's the end behavior of a triple root, right? And then it's going to go back up, single root, and this is going to be 1 and 1/3. Notice it does follow it. The end behavior is both up, and the degree is 4. Leading coefficient is positive. They go up. There's a triple root right over here. It seems like this value, since this is 1 and 1/3, this value probably might be 1. We're not quite sure yet. So we have to figure that out. Okay, so that's what it kind of looks like for now. I'm going to start working on the problem. Okay. So before we start, what do we do with this function? Oh, before we do that, I'm going to check the values of my y value. F of -2 is going to be 3 times -2 to the 4th minus 4 times -2 cubed. 2, 4, 8, 16. 16 times 3 is going to be 48. Minus 4 times -2 cubed is -8. That's going to be plus 32. Plus 48 is going to be 80. So f of -2 is equal to 80. F of 3, because we're going to check -2 and 3 right over there. You plug into the function again. 3 times 3 to the 4th minus 4 times 3 cubed. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, that's 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 3 is equal to 243 minus 27 times 4. It's going to be 108. And subtracting that, minus 108, changing 3, 135. F of 3 is equal to 135. So these are the n values. F of -2 is 80, and f of 3 is 135. So we're going to try to figure out what the minimum and the maximum value is, and how do you figure out what the minimum and maximum values are. Well, what we can do is we always take the derivative and set it equal to 0, right? F prime of x, the derivative of that is going to be bring down the 4, multiply by 3, that's going to be 12. X to the 4 minus 1 is 3, minus 4, bring it on down. It's going to be 4 times 3. It's going to be 12 times x, and then subtract 1 for the power rule, which is x squared. And we're going to set the derivative equal to 0. Let's get this out of the way first a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to factor out 12, x squared. You end up with x minus 1 equals 0. And so you end up with 12x squared equals 0, x minus 1. These factors have to equal 0. X squared equals 0. It's a, what do you call it? A min or max, or they call it critical point, CP, at x squared equals 0, at x equals 1. As we stated earlier, it looks something like this, right? We probably set that at 1, at x value of 1, right there. It's probably going to be a maximum or a minimum. In this case, it's probably going to be minimal. And there it is. Well, we don't really quite know. What we want to do is we want to check it if this is a max min or if this is a max min, right? At x equals 0 and x equals 1. Well, let's rewrite this. 12x squared times x minus 1. And we're just going to look at the first derivative test. The first derivative test is when you plug in 0 in here, and then you go let's actually go this way. The first derivative test. Here's 0 and here's 1. To the left of 0, it's a negative number. Negative squared is positive times positive is positive. A negative number minus 1 is another negative number. Negative times positive is negative. You got a negative slope there. From 0 to 1, you can plug in any value like 1/2. So it's going to be positive 1/2 squared is 1/4, but it's just going to be positive times 12 is positive. Be positive. 1/2 minus 1 is negative. It's going to be negative. I'm looking at the qualitative numbers, not the actual physical numbers. So it's going to go from negative slope, right over here is a negative slope, and then up to 1 is going to be a negative slope still. Okay, so it has to change signs for it to be a max or min. So it doesn't change sign. So this is not max or min at x equals 0. Okay. What about this guy right over here? So let's try 2. Positive squared is positive times 2 is positive. Positive 2 minus 1 is positive. It's going to be positive. It's going to be positive. You went from negative slope to a positive slope. That's going to be a minimum, right? At x equals 1. And just like we said, we know that there's going to be a minimum at x equals 1. You should be able to do this, the first derivative test, and it's going to be part of your criteria to finding max and mins on your AP exams. Okay? And so, let's try f of 1 now. What is that equal to? We found that f of 1, here's your function that we started with, 3 times 1 to the 4th minus 4 times 1 cubed. 1 to the 4th power is 1 times 3 is 3 minus 4 is equal to negative 1. That's going to be my minimum. So maximum is at one of the endpoints. At negative 2, I believe it was 80, and at 3 it's 135. So this is the absolute max. At x equals 3, absolute max. And f of 3 was 135. And minimum was at x equals 1. And my f of 1 turns out to be negative 1. That's my absolute minimum. And there it is. at x equals 1, my absolute minimum was -1. And since it goes up forever, you have to check the endpoints. You should be able to do part B on your own, guys. So good luck on your part B exam or part B test review questions.